Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna go through email writing, so newsletters, sequences, campaigns, and anything that has to do with writing copy for an email list. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. All I'm doing here is teaching you how to become a copywriter, how to actually get started, and I'm giving you all the practical advice. I started copywriting just a few years ago. I had no education, I had basic education, but I had no marketing education, no marketing experience, no copywriting experience. I didn't even particularly like writing, but I'm doing very well. I love my job, and I believe that it's the perfect solution for people like me who are looking for something they can do remotely and they can have a lot of success with and help businesses grow. So let's just imagine that you're in a scenario where you are approached by a client or you are discussing a project with a client and they want you to do email marketing for them. Now, email marketing is very specific because it's not paid advertising where you're just putting things in front of people. It goes right to their inbox. It's very personal. The problem with email marketing now is that you really need to stand out because our inboxes, and you can probably tell this from your own example, our inboxes are full of spam. It's not spam, it's email marketing. They're full of other marketers trying to push their products. So what you essentially have to do is you need to stand out and you really need to connect with your prospect in order to get their attention and to get them to open your emails and then actually listen to what you're saying and take action. Okay, so the first thing you need to look at when you're starting a project with email marketing is ask about the list, get as much information about the list as possible. So your client might already have a pre-existing list that he needs to re-engage, or he might have a lead magnet that he's going to run traffic to and he's going to have new people signing up. So you need to understand where is the list coming from, who they are, and where they are in the process of purchasing from your client. So there are different reasons we run marketing campaigns. So you might be running a nurturing campaign, which is regular emails that will just keep that audience warm. You might be running a specific sales campaign that's leading up to a product launch or a already existing product that you just want to increase sales on. It could be an event, a webinar, or any type of thing like this where the campaign has a very specific goal, a sales goal in mind. So when you understand where your list is, who they are, how are they segmented, then you will be able to focus your writing and plan your sequence in advance for that campaign, for that specific goal. So what does it mean that an audience is segmented? You see, when you have a business, like let's say me, I'm a copywriter, and you as well. Let's say we want to run marketing to our own business, and we have an email list or we have a lead magnet that we're offering to our customers. It's going to pay us to know whether our customers are maybe entrepreneurs, whether they're big corporations, or who they are and what makes them different from each other and how we can speak to them differently, because each client will have their own objections. So for instance, an entrepreneur might have their objection might be that they're not quite comfortable with delegating tasks, so you need to make them feel comfortable about that specific objections, whereas a corporation is quite comfortable delegating tasks, but what they might be worried about that you as an individual won't be able to, for instance, adhere to their strict corporation guidelines. So this is why it pays to know what segmentations you're working with, and of course you're going to have to tailor the emails to each specific group if you really want to drive great results for your client. Okay, so just to recap what I mentioned, the first step would be getting familiar with the list or how the list will come to be. The second thing would be to get familiar with the audience within that list, to understand who they are, what they need. And then the third step would be to segment the audience into specific types of customer or the specific groups that you will be talking to. So once you get all that down, so you know who you're talking to, you know the segment, you know how they're different from each other, what are their objections, needs, wants, and fears, pain points, and all that stuff, then you can move on into planning your sequences. So your customer might ask you for ongoing work, which would basically be a nurturing campaign, or they might ask you to support them with one specific sales campaign. It's more likely that you will be doing this more specific sales campaign. So this is what I'm going to focus on right now. So this comes in the form of, like I mentioned before, your customer has a specific goal in mind and they know what they want. So maybe they're launching a product, or they're launching a service, a course, or they already have a product that exists and they want to run a promotion to it. So what you would do is plan your sequence based on the understanding of your audience. And the way that I go around it is really by putting myself in the shoes of that specific segment that I'm talking to, and understanding how that product is going to help them, how I can move them through the email so that they take action. So what I'm going to do to make this video really practical is I'm going to sit down and I'm going to actually write an email in front of you so that you understand what I did and why I did it. And I'm going to talk you through basically who the people are, who my audience is, and how I'm choosing to speak to them. And then from that email, I hope that you will get a live example that then you can put into practice when you're working on your own projects, because you have this other practical understanding of how to write an email and how you might choose to think when you're actually doing the work. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I will share my screen with you and we're going to go through writing an email together. So basically, let me just, sorry, this is a document. Let me just explain the project to you. My client is a writer. He writes and self-publishes books. Now, what he does when he releases a new book is he offers it to his email list for free in exchange for a review on Amazon. What that does, it essentially helps him market his book, because on Amazon, people go by the reviews. So the more reviews you have, the better your book will perform, especially at the beginning when people are making the decision whether to buy it or not. So what he essentially needs is he needs a quick email that he will send out to his list offering the book for free. Now you might be thinking, okay, this is an easy task because anyone would want to download the book for free. Yes and no. Because our first thing is that we need to differentiate ourselves amongst like thousands of other marketing emails. So that's the first hurdle. Once we get over that, we have to get our point across quickly enough in the email so that people actually download the book. And then later on, we'll have to actually remind them to leave the review. So let's start off by writing the subject line. Sorry, my language was set to Polish. Okay, so the subject line, what I usually like to do is I prepare 3 separate subject lines for my customer to test. This is a package that I do. I mean, it's not even a package, it's just a service I provide free of charge because I like to work with data. I believe in testing, so I want my customer to test the headlines and see which one works the best for his audience. So the first line is going to be, I have something for you, name. So usually marketing platforms give you the option to use somebody's name in the email, and of course that gets picked from the form when they were signing up. They type in their name and then you can use it in your email. So that's what I'm doing. I have something for you, name. So I'm hoping that this will be catchy for the customer when they see it in their inbox. Now another subject line that I'm going to use is this appropriate? Is this appropriate? So it's a question, and I'm hoping that's going to basically interest the reader. Like, what does he mean by that? You know, who is this email coming from? And the third line is going to be would you like to read my... No. Jane. Name. I'm sending over my book to you. Okay? It's something like this, you know. This is just a draft. I might change that sentence, but that's going to be the essence. So then we get to the body. Now the body, the first line of the first sentence of your email is going to show up as preview text. I'll show you what that is exactly. So you see when I come up here, for instance, you have a Nomador email, and then underneath you get like the first few words from the actual email, and that kind of shows you what's inside the email. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that your first sentence is basically either really interesting, really personal, or both of these things, if you can do. So my first lane is going to be name. My first line, name, how have you been? This sounds very personal, like almost like he actually knows this person. And that's what she's going to see. How have you been? You know, like, I have something for you. By the way, how have you been? You know, like, it sounds very personal, like you're literally emailing with a friend. So the next sentence, what I like to do if I have the opportunity, of course, if you're writing for a big corporation, this might be a little bit of a challenge. But if you're writing just for a person, then what I like to do is I like to include like a sentence that's very personal from their own life, because we like that. That's how we connect with people. So what I'm going to write here is the past few weeks have been beautiful. New York is turning all shades of amber because of the falling leaves. How is it where you are? So you see, it's just a small sentence that kind of lets you inside the person's life without being, I mean, I don't even know if this guy lives in New York, you know, like he can change it, of course. Actually, I know that he doesn't live in New York, but it's just a first sentence, and he can change it to his city, or he can keep it completely private. It doesn't matter, as long as you, of course, follow through with what you write later on. But it's just a quick sentence that lets the reader into your personal life. So after that, what I will write is, I've been thinking of a way to reward you. I've been thinking of a way to reward you. I want you to know that I appreciate you as my reader and a part of my community. So this is just the leading sentence that will lead me basically into the offering of the free book. So basically it's just a nice way of getting it across, you know, like I want to give you something, I want to reward you because you're my reader, you're a part of my community, and I want you to know that. And then I will say that I just finished writing my newest book. I just finished writing my new book. Before I publish it, I would like to offer it to you for free. I just finished writing my new book. Before I publish it, I would like to offer it to you for free. Now, I'm just writing these very quickly, so they might not flow so well grammatically, but I will go over this and check it. But I'm just giving you an idea of how I would compose the email, and then the editing and proofreading comes after. So I just finished writing my new book. Before I publish it, I would like to offer it to you for free. Now what you can do is format it, so like bold the free. Of course, I only want you to accept it if you're interested in the topic. Of course, I only want you to accept it if you're interested in a topic. The last thing I want to do is bore you to death. I'm not insured for that kind of liability. Of course, I only want you to accept it if you're interested in a topic. The last thing I want to do is bore you to death. I'm not insured for that kind of liability. So this is kind of giving this prospect, like, exclude yourself, like, don't download this unless. So yeah, that's probably how I would phrase it. Don't take this book unless you're interested in a topic. So all I ask for in return is your honest opinion. Now, don't accept this. Now, don't accept this if you're not interested in the topic. Okay, so I'm just writing, I'm not breaking it down to you. So I just finished writing my new book. Before I publish it, I would like to offer it to you for free. So this is how you introduce the actual offer, right? What am I giving you? I'm giving you a free book. All I ask for in return is your honest opinion. So you're given the other side of the deal. So now they know what they have to do in return. Although it's of course not mandatory. You can't force them to leave you a review. Now, don't accept it if you're not interested in the topic. The last thing I want to do is bore you to death. I'm not insured for that kind of liability. So basically here what I'm doing is I'm giving them this little, don't do it, because it's like a psychological thing. Like if you say to somebody, now don't do this, it makes it look like he's not desperate. Like he knows who he wants to read the book, and if you're not interested, then just don't. And then that acts on us psychologically, because if we say don't, we usually want to do it. And then the last bit is just something like a little bit of humor to connect with them and entertain them a little bit. So here's what's inside the book. Here's what's inside the book. Or here's what you can learn from the book. And here we're going to list a bunch of benefits about the book to encourage the person to actually download the book. How to talk to anyone about anything. No stress or pressure. So it's just like, I understand the audience. So the book is about communication, and the audience are people who want to improve their communication because they understand that it's going to give them an advantage over in specific life situations, like making connections with people, making getting the promotion at work, making new friends, being themselves and being seen for who they are. So that's what I'm going into, and you should also have this understanding of what the product does and how it's going to benefit the recipient of the email. So what I'm doing here is I'm listing the benefits, like how to talk to anyone about anything, no stress, no pressure, how to make awesome connections with how to make awesome connections with your friends. No. How to improve your relationship with your friends, colleagues, and family. How to improve your relationship with your friends, colleagues, and here's what you can learn from how to talk to anyone about anything, no stress or pressure, how to improve your relationship with friends, colleagues, and family, how to use communication to achieve your goals, how to build a network of people that will help you advance in life, and how to have fun while you're at it. So basically, this is just a bunch of benefits that I'm hoping will encourage the person to download the book. I would probably delete this one. How to talk to anyone about anything, no stress or pressure, how to improve your relationships with your friends, colleagues and family, how to build a network of people that will help you advance in life, and how to have fun while you're at it. So you probably don't want to put too much into it, especially because this is a free download. We don't need a long sales copy. If this was an expensive book that costs maybe $40 or $30, then we would need to put a lot more effort into actually into marketing the book. But here is actually, this is enough for an email. And also there's going to be a link which is going to lead the customer into a page, an Amazon web page, an Amazon page where the book has its own copy that sells it. So this is just a little preview. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up the email here. As you can see, it's only been 15 minutes and we're already done. So it really doesn't take that long as you have all the information you need. So now don't accept it if you're not interested in this topic. The last thing I want to do is bore you to death. I'm not insured for that kind of liability. Here's what you can learn from the book: how to talk to anyone about anything, how to improve your relationships, how to build, how to have fun while you're at it. I'm 100% sure that this book will make your life easier and bring you many opportunities. If you want to, now here is what, so this was just to wrap up the benefits, like a word from the author, what I'm all for. And what I'm going to do now is basically I'm going to move into the call to action. So again, what I'm going to say is, first I'm going to use some urgency. So I'm going to say, you can start reading it right away with the instant download here. And then click here. So with the instant download, just so it's on the same line. So here you could use some scarcity as well. Like, I'm only offering this to a X amount of people, but I'm just going to leave it out because this is a very personal email. I don't want this reader to even think about other readers right now. I want them to feel like it's just for them. You can start reading it right away with the instant download. Click here. So that's basically the CTA. I'll be in touch in a few weeks to ask for your feedback. Kindest, let's name my client John to keep. So that's basically it. So 17 minutes in total, and this was of course with me explaining it. If I was doing it alone, it'd probably take me about 10 minutes. But you understand that this is how you would write it. It's actually quite simple. Anyway, so that's the email. If you want to download this template, then you can use the link below in the video and you'll gain access to it immediately. Okay, so my advice, as always, would be to really get to know the prospect, the project, the service or the product that they're providing, but also to understand the general marketing campaign around this specific product or service, just so you get a good understanding of where the emails fit into the funnel of your client. I promise you that that's going to take you way further down the road of being a professional copywriter than just writing copy and not caring about anything else. You will basically be seen completely different, not just a writer, but you will be seen as a marketing professional, which is what copywriting is. It is marketing. We're not just writing, we're basically in the business of marketing. So if you want to stand out
among the crowd of other copywriters than invest in general marketing knowledge and work with data and be this unique person that will have many opportunities open to them, and you will develop much better connections with your clients because you will be an advisor as well as a writer. So that's it for today. I hope that you found this video helpful. It was a bit of a quick one, and I hope that I went into enough detail for you to understand. Of course, as always, I'll leave some resources down below for you to look into email marketing more closely. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a thumbs up if you did, leave a comment. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to also contact me on my social media, which I will link here. And don't forget to subscribe if you like the channel, and if you want to continue learning with me, then I am here for you. Thank you so much for being here, and see you in the next video. Bye.